So you're interested in getting shredded. Awesome, you came to the right video because in this video I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I would have done differently if I was getting shredded for the first time, the things that I now do differently with myself and with my clients that really do improve those processes and those systems to getting to that low body fat percentage. And by the way, none of these things are some kind of quick fix that I can just give you and that you're gonna listen to this video and tomorrow wake up with abs or just magically get shredded overnight. That's really not how it works. You need patience, you need consistency, you need lots of hard work. But my hope is that these things that I share here with you and my experiences will help you improve your processes so you can do this in the most effective way possible for you. And by the way, if you're new here, my name is Mario Tomic. If you would like to learn more about exercise, nutrition, getting that ripped physique, really making this a lifestyle, consider subscribing below and make sure to enable the notifications by clicking the bell icon so you know when the next video comes out. And now let's dive into it. So the first thing that I would do differently when it comes to getting shredded is that I would have gotten a lot more precise with my nutrition from day one. So I made a mistake basically with procrastinating on learning how to do calories, learning how to do macros, learning how to do tracking, really doing it. And instead, what I was doing is I was basically avoiding that, and I was doing primarily some of the common sense fat loss things. I was trying to get away with just doing that, which weren't necessarily bad things. I mean, these things like eating more protein, eating more veggies, not eating junk food, not drinking sodas, drinking more water, like those things are great and that's a good foundation, but I should have just gotten much more precise from day one because the lack of that precision was really what got me in a lot of frustrating plateaus, even far from being shredded. I mean, above 15% body fat, I was already hitting plateaus, which shouldn't be really happening. So if I was more precise from day one, if I had those skills, I would have first off known when to make changes, what changes to make. I would have data to understand what was going on, and I wouldn't even hit those plateaus, but then I would have had a lot more momentum and more experience with these skills, so I could actually get closer to my 10% body fat goal, which was really the ultimate goal. I wanted to be that guy with a six-pack. I wanted to get shredded. And because I was avoiding these skills, that was really a problem because I didn't know what to do, what to change, and that's maybe a situation we're in right now. You might be stuck far from your goal without knowing what to change. And that's a lack of data, right? So you need to dive into this. Don't postpone, don't procrastinate on learning these skills because these skills will be critical to get to that end goal, right? They might not be critical to lose the first 5 pounds. I mean, you can do that with some of the common sense things I mentioned, but if we're talking about getting really, really shredded, getting to that ultimate goal, you will need these skills. So dive into it. Let's get that precision. Now, the second thing that I would have done differently when it comes to getting shredded is to not do as much cardio. So what I did basically is from day one, week one, I already had 2 cardio sessions of about 45 minutes moderate intensity on top of 5 weight training sessions and all the nutrition changes. And 2 training sessions like that isn't a lot, but what happened over time is as soon as I didn't see the scale move as fast as I wanted, I would immediately go up in the cardio. I would go from 2 sessions to 3. I would add another one, add to 4, 45 minutes turned into an hour. Eventually, I ended up doing 5 cardio sessions of about an hour and an empty stomach in the morning, plus the 5 weight training sessions, which was way too much for someone at my experience level. And in general, that's a lot of workload for someone. They need really, really good recovery to be able to even handle that, to be able to even survive that, especially when you're also looking to lose body fat. I mean, that's just a lot. And for a beginner like myself, basically the result was that I didn't build any muscle, didn't gain any strength on my cut, and that cut was just not very effective. And the end result of that whole fat loss phase was just not as good as it could have been because I, at that experience level as a beginner, about a year into lifting, year and a half, I should have been able to build some muscle. I should have been able to gain a lot of strength on that fat loss phase, but nothing happened because I was just overtrained. And also, not just physically what was going on, but mentally, I was absolutely exhausted all the time. I just didn't want to do much. I was not very motivated. I was very agitated. I was actually very hungry as well. Even my sleep quality just went down. I was sleeping only about 6 to 7 hours because I just couldn't handle all the workload. I just constantly felt stressed out and I was just doing way too much for someone at my experience level. Now, if I was doing things differently, I mean, cardio, there's nothing bad with it. I mean, you can add a couple of sessions here or there, but that's definitely something to use strategically as a tool if your goal is to have an amazing muscular physique at the end of your fat loss phase. It's not something just to go full on YOLO and go very aggressive like I did with just adding a bunch of cardio without any kind of limitations or considerations for the fatigue. And also at that time, I was going into the forums, I was reading what people were talking about. Everybody was talking about how it's supposed to be miserable, how you're supposed to suffer, how it is painful, how you're supposed to be fatigued. And I kind of bought into that, and I thought that what was happening to me was normal, and I was just kept going, just keep going and just let's go to the end. And now I know differently, and now I'm telling you as well that that's not supposed to be happening. You're not supposed to be completely trashed every single day after your morning session. I was doing basically morning fasted sessions. I mean, now we even know the science on fasted cardio says that there's not any difference between doing it fasted or fed. Back in the day, I was like, oh, let's do it fasted. It has to be fasted. So I was really pushing myself so much. It was negatively affecting all areas of my life, and I think that's actually one of the biggest mistakes I ever made in terms of my fitness journey. I think this one mistake of just doing way too much cardio, and that's definitely what held me back a lot in my journey, and this is definitely something you want to pay attention to if your goal ultimately is to get to that shredded physique. Now, the third thing that I would have done differently when it comes to getting shredded is to have a lot more progress metrics. And my issue was that I was only relying on the weight scale. That's how I made all my decisions, whether to do less food, more cardio, less cardio training. Like all these changes were basically made based on the weight scale. And we know the weight scale can fluctuate quite a lot. And luckily, I soon moved into weight averages. I wasn't just looking at the daily weigh-ins because that really makes you crazy. If you look at weight averages, that's a little bit more accurate, but it's not enough. I wish I did weekly progress photos. I wish I did weekly caliper measurements where you take an inch to the right of your belly button and just take a vertical pinch there, and you just have that metric, you have that raw data. You can make more accurate decisions, you make more educated decisions. With the progress photos, the thing is, like, when we're looking at ourselves in the mirror, we're always looking at the abs. Is the fat melting from the abs? And the thing is that that's the last place it's gonna go off from. And you often lose a lot of fat from your back that you don't even see. And if you're just looking at the middle, you're just looking at your stomach, nothing is happening. And it can be very frustrating. Instead, when you take progress photos from a couple different angles, you can see changes. And also with those progress photos, you can actually compare when you do the next fat loss phase. You can look back, you can see how the changes have been made, you can see how much muscle you put on. You can see a lot. You have a lot more accurate insights into what's going on with your body. And that was my mistake. I made a lot of bad choices because I was just relying on that scale. I would lower my food intake, add cardio, do all kinds of stuff, and I would have probably made a lot more progress if I just stuck with it. Maybe I was doing something right, I didn't even know that I was doing it right. So having more metrics to measure your progress is critical, and I highly recommend that you implement as many as possible so you have the data to make the good decisions. And that's really what's going to make a difference, because you're no longer just guessing. Now you're actually making decisions based on something real, on something that's actually going on. And don't get me wrong, the scale is great, but it cannot be the only tool you use that will give you the decisions. You need to use other tools if you want more accurate decisions. And when we're talking about getting shredded, we're talking about maximum accuracy, which is really going to help you. And by the way, I'm going to leave a video here at the end that's also going to help you on your goal and your journey to getting shredded. And also, if you're interested in working with me, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. You can check out that link. All the details will be there. Other than that, I will see you in that next video.